This is the BSSS e-content video. Hi, my name is Piyush Pradhan and I'm from the Bhopal School of Social Sciences, working at a post of a language lab assistant. I have taken the topic of summary and paraphrasing. Now, the first question that arrives is there any difference between summary and paraphrasing? In fact, there is. There is a huge difference between understanding summary and paraphrasing. In all the slides which I'm going to share with my learners, I'm going to primarily focus more on paraphrasing rather than on summarizing above the text. So let us just begin. Summary. The simple meaning of it is to get rid of smaller details and only to leave the primary points of the text, whereas paraphrasing means changing the language into your own ideas, thoughts, or views. Now, whether you are writing for the workplace or for any sort of academic purposes, you need to research first and then try to incorporate the writing of others into your own texts. There are two unavoidable steps that exist in this process. One is, of course, as I said, the use of summary, and another, indeed, the use of paraphrasing. First, if you use the original writer's language without any changes in it, it limits your own learning process. By paraphrasing and summarizing, what you try to do is that you make a piece of information your own property, and then you understand it better because that can be learned in the immediate future. Second, the original writers did not write for the audiences you are targeting about. There are inevitably contents and language choices that will not necessarily work for your audience in particular. Thirdly, I would like to say that authors' right is considered to be their own property because that's their own choice of the words. Just like someone owns or possesses a coat or a car to himself. So by copying it without giving the credit, you can be accused of plagiarism sometimes because it is someone else's work which you are trying to copycat. Now, in this third slide, we're going to begin with the basic level of paraphrasing. We're going to throw the reflection on both the categories, that is paraphrase and summarizing. Now let's understand paraphrasing first. This, what you're looking at the slide on the top, is the original sentence. Let's learn it. Look at the first word, which I have italicized for my audiences. It says, Payless is closed because of the bad weather conditions. Now, this original structure or the source is what is going to be inappropriately paraphrased, especially if one does not have the expertise and the utmost knowledge how it needs to be paraphrased. So the person will again be completely confused and will make the audience confused with the word payless. Plus, the word or the expression which is used in the original source is the same term used down below in the inappropriate phrasing. Now, payless word is itself very confusing. What can I make out from the word payless? Am I talking about any online payment application? Am I talking about any name of the company or any other application source, etc.? Now that is very confusing. Now let us just see how these things are repeated and confused, but can be properly and appropriately paraphrased. Now please look at this feature. Since the weather is terrible, the grocery store is not open. Now, have you all made out what was the actual sense of the word payless? I was in fact concentrating or talking about grocery store. So Payless was actually a grocery store. Now this clarifies to our audience that one is now having a clear and precise clarity of what one wants to say by using that word and then converting it or changing into appropriate word. So as can be seen in the above example, in addition to using different words, the grammatical structure of the sentence was changed by starting with the second part, that is, the use of the dependent clause of the original sentence. Now for a summary, let's understand its definition first. A summary should only be a short version of a longer original source. Short version of a longer original source. Its main goal is to present a large amount of information in a short and a very concise way. When the text is taken up, that includes only the most important ideas of the original text. Now, I want my audiences to please concentrate on these original sentence pattern, the inappropriate summary pattern, and the appropriate summary pattern. If this is what is mentioned in the original sentence, what should be the inappropriate summary? I believe in 8 out of 10 cases, people will inappropriately summarize this particular part. And very few, let's say 2 to 3% of the individuals only, will talk about the appropriate summary part, which is there available in just 2 lines. Hope my learners are able to make the difference between use of summary and paraphrasing. Now we are pushing along to the level of intermediate use of the paraphrasing. This slide is again divided into source material, inappropriate paraphrasing, and then the appropriate paraphrasing done by a human being. Now, I am going to teach you in the last 2 and 3 lines the differences of how, from an original source, we can extract out the inappropriate and appropriate part of the structures. Let us just read it first. Some argue that the approximately 11 million undocumented immigrants in the United States ought to receive a path to US citizenship, while others claim that these immigrants need to be deported back to their home countries. Now please concentrate. Immigrants need to be deported back to their home countries. Now when we push along to the inappropriate paraphrase column, it says, some say that 11 million undocumented immigrants in the United States ought to receive a way for citizenship, while other people say that the migrants should go back to their countries. Now, the word deported and back is actually paraphrased by the change-up word, which is to go back to their countries. And now we are reaching to the third column that says, although some individuals maintain that undocumented immigrants should go back to their countries, others defend these immigrants have a right for a path to citizenship. Are you able to understand the difference of the paraphrasing, how the words and structures are getting paraphrased? This is exactly the way how things are paraphrased. Hope my learners are enjoying these patterns of paraphrasing. Now comes the paraphrasing situations. The first paraphrasing condition. The students requested that the professor excuse her absence, but the professor refused. Now look at the yellow highlighted portion. How we have searched out or traced out the possible solution. The professor denied the student's request for an excused absence. Especially these last 5 and 6 word in this particular portion is the area which needs to have your utmost focal point. Please focus on that. Then comes the next sentence. There will be a music concert next to the Vienna coffee shop. Would you like to go? Well, we can change it into an interrogative question. Are you coming to a music concert in Vienna? Simple solution. But for the third one, I've got a true excitement to take up this third situation, because we can change this third condition into 3 different conditions. Let's see how. The car that was pulled over by the police officer yesterday just had an accident. That driver is not careful. Now the first possible solution. The driver who was pulled over yesterday is not careful because he just had an accident. Second possible solution. The driver's carelessness, concentrate on the word carelessness, made him get caught by the police due to a severe accident. Now the extra word which I have added to change the criteria is the word severe. And lastly, the third possible solution. This time I have taken up in a form of 2:1 ratio. How? Let's make it out. Irresponsible behavior of the driver caused an intense accident and brought him under police purview. Now I know that for my learners, third solution was quite tough, but still we can make out how to understand these paraphrasing situations and how it could help us for the academic writing skills. Now in this part of the summary, I want my audiences to just concentrate on the word which I've only italicized. Please concentrate on illiteracy, poorest countries, 19 cities across the country, and volunteers. Now when I change it to the possible solution, please concentrate on this circled italicized word. Again, the word volunteers, underprivileged children, and literacy skills. So out of these 4 lines, we have just changed these 4 lines into merely 2 lines of the possible solution. Same as in the case with the next paragraph, which is so lengthy with 5 and 6 lines. But it can be converted into 3 lines only. Hope you have liked the sample example of summary as well in this slide. Now we are coming back again to the feature of paraphrasing. Let's read out and concentrate on the original source. Despite the undoubted fact that everyone's vision of what constitutes success is different, concentrate till here, up till the comma. Then one should spend one's time establishing and finalizing one's vision of it. Again, this line is very confusing. On a first attempt, none of the stranger can ever make out what you want to say, because not everyone's English is so sound. But the moment we are going to paraphrase this entire original source passage, we're going to see the world of difference. How? Let me underline that. We all have different ideas about success. What is important is that you spend time defining your version of success. So with these 2 lines of this passage only, my audiences must have made out how to understand the difference of taking an original source content or text and trying to paraphrase it properly in a very positive text. Now we are going to have a quick revision of the summary and paraphrasing. I have taken some of the elements in this particular slide. For instance, one need to read the whole text. You need to scan your text multiple times. You need to write down whatever you are thinking with your appropriate thoughts and ideas. You need to summarize each section of the text in a single sentence. You need to combine every word, every text and structure efficiently. Then you need to revise your text. And finally, documenting the available text or content essentially. Please try to choose a passage or a sentence you think will fit well into your paper. Make sure you read it carefully and understand it fully. Put the paragraph aside and try to say the same thing using different words sometimes. Make sure to replace every keyword with, of course, the use of the synonym in between. Change the grammar as much you can without altering the meaning. Please mind, you need not to alter the meaning. While doing all of these, make sure you don't miss the most essential details. So go back to the original text once again and please confirm. And lastly, repeat the process once. You can paraphrase or paraphrase text to ensure that it looks original enough. And before I could just say thank you to my learners, I have got this cute little class task tests for my learners. I'll be happy if you share your part of this test through the comments on my video. Now, for my audience, I'm sharing these two different tasks. First is, of course, a task with the summary and another with paraphrasing. The main topic of summary is the right use of leisure or leisure. And for paraphrasing, this is what I want to give you as a task test. Please take your time when you are free at home. Try to deal with these two tasks and share it with me so that I could also help you with any mistakes you come across, especially in your academic writing skills. I'll be delighted to do so and help you. Thank you so much. I hope you have liked my video, and please don't forget to give your likes and your comments over the video. Goodbye to you and Godspeed.